Hello there, my beautiful pumpkins, and welcome to this What You Need to Hear Right Now Pick a Card. If you're new here, hello, my name is Kloee Taylor, and on this channel, I believe we have one of the most cozy, vibey, autumnal corners of the internet. So if you like the way that I read, you like my style, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos every Tuesday and every Friday. And if you like this, please do like the video. It really does help my channel. If you provide it with a like, it helps me to know that you want more videos like these. And it also helps like the algorithm reach people and allows me to continue to create. So if you could leave it a little like if you like it, I would definitely appreciate that. Now for this reading, what I have done is I am in my like channeling mode, and I have asked any of your spiritual team that is for your highest good to come through and speak with these cards and through me to you on what you need to hear right now. And I feel like the messages that we get today are going to be very special. I don't get this feeling very often with my readings. It's happened like a handful of times, and I just feel like the energy is really high for this reading. So if you have stumbled across this video, I do not think it is by accident. Now, if you need a little bit of extra help choosing the different card piles, allow me to put some selectors down and also give you a little bit of guidance if you don't know how these work. So pile number 1, you are going to have a white pumpkin. Pile number 2, you are going to have this gravestone that says keep out. Pile number 3, you are going to have an orange pumpkin. And pile number 4, you are going to have gone at last with this little black gravestone. And basically you can use these selectors as maybe you saw them and you were like, oh my gosh, that is my pile. Or maybe you knew from the thumbnail what your pile was going to be. The number one thing I always want to tell you is please know that you're never going to choose wrong. I feel like a lot of people will second guess themselves, and that's, if you felt pulled to something immediately, then that is the right choice for you. It is also okay to feel pulled to more than one. Some people actually will listen to my entire video, like every pile, and then make a decision afterwards on which pile fit their situation the most. You know, there is no wrong way to do this. It's okay to choose more than one, and just really follow your intuition. You can also use the timestamps down below. Maybe your lucky number is in the timestamps, or the emoji that I put with them corresponds. Like I said, just know that there's no wrong way to do this. And I'm going to go ahead and give you some time with some meditation music on these piles to sit with them, decide which one or which ones you want to choose, and then we will get into it, starting with pile number 1, which is the white pumpkin. All right, pile number 1. If you chose the white pumpkin, this is going to be your reading. And we have so many more cards than just these. So we're just going to start with these and then we'll build off of this. So the message that you need to hear right now, first of all, you have the 2 of Swords, you have the 5 of Cups, the 2 of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. What this says to me is, number 1, you maybe have been sitting in a little bit of a state of like analysis paralysis is what I call it, where you are trying to come up with all of these ideas. You're trying to like formulate a plan of attack. Don't get me wrong, there is so much value to this stage of your journey where you are gathering intel, gathering information, but the problem is you're so focused on what you don't have that you're not actually putting any action behind it. So, like, let's say, for example, obviously, this is such a cheesy example because it very much is related to like my neck of the woods as a creator on YouTube, but maybe that's something that you're aspiring towards. Maybe you want to be like a TikTok creator or a YouTube creator or something. It's almost like you are looking at other people's channels and other people's work or other people's profiles, and you are gathering all of this intel, which is valuable. It is so valuable to study the masters of like other people that are in the field that you want to be in. I don't see anything wrong with this. But what you're missing is the reason that they are so successful and you're having a hard time is that you're not putting action behind it. You're spending too much time trying to create this perfect formula that you're not actually doing the creative part. And here's the thing. This is like, for me to you, as a creative entrepreneur, even if you have people that really inspire you, that which is 100% okay. Even if you have people that really inspire you, it should never be your mission to become that person. It should be your mission to do maybe something similar, but bring it in a unique way that fulfills you. So like, for example, maybe I'm looking at other tarot card reader channels in my genre. Valuable, right? To look at people that are like the masters of the craft that I really look up to or am inspired by. That can be a really wonderful time consuming thing that helps me to understand why maybe they master something. But I don't want to do it like them. I want to do it like me. I want to bring the fall essence into everything I do. I want to bring spirituality and psychology together instead of just all one or the other. You know, there is definitely a different way that I do things here on my channel than the way other creators do them. And it's the same for all of us that are here creating this way. And I'm bringing this to your attention because even if you're not in like the online field, I'm really getting this sense that you have a lot of ideas for your life about how it should look. And instead of actually making a decision and taking action because there is an area of your life that you want to succeed in, you're getting really caught up in all that you don't have. You're getting really caught up in the numbers, in maybe other people's lives that seem like they have it so much more together than you or have it all figured out. I'm going to tell you another little secret. Nobody has it figured out. Literally nobody. Everybody is out here just clowning, doing their best, or maybe not their best, but everybody is out here literally figuring it out as they go. And if somebody tells you that they are like a master of something, either they have studied a very long time and they actually feel like they have mastered it, or it's because they put a lot of action into mastering that thing. Most people are, and they had to go through that. They had to go through this same thing. Like, even if you look at my creative timeline as an example, I will always use myself as an example. If you go back and sort my videos from oldest to newest, you're going to notice that there aren't even videos that are like what I'm doing now. They were completely different. I was in a completely different genre. And I started in tarot doing weekly energy updates, and I started doing videos that were not pick-a-cards, and then I got into pick-a-cards slowly. And just know that when you find your own unique path in, you're going to kind of have to do this. You're going to have to do this throwing things at a dartboard until you see something that sticks, until you hit that bullseye. And that often is how the creative process is. Most people, I'm not going to say it can't happen because it definitely can, but most people do not go viral overnight. Most people have to build over time. And I would actually argue that going viral isn't always the best way to bring about success, because oftentimes you go viral for one thing and then you feel like you have to replicate that, and it strips you of your creativity. It makes you feel like you can't think outside the box because everybody only wants this one type of content from you, and it honestly takes away your uniqueness. So going viral really shouldn't be the goal either. It's more about what brings you joy. What can you take action towards every single day and dedicate yourself to? I used to tell My best friend, when I was like riding a creative high, I was telling her that even if I lost everything tomorrow, I would turn around and do the exact same thing over again because I love the work that I get to show up for every day. And it's the same way that I tell y'all when you do something that is mindless or your heart's not really in it, don't you think that if you had somebody operating on you, let's say, like a doctor, don't you think that you would want a doctor that truly felt fulfilled to like do that surgery and help people get better? Or would you want the doctor that just did it because he wanted the credibility of being a doctor, right? You would want the person that really feels called to be there every single day. And that is what you should be striving towards. And the message that you also need to hear right now is you have that within you. The reason that you're here and that you're being told this, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Wands. You have the creative visionary within you. You don't need to look outside yourself for these things. You think that you do, but you don't. And the Ace of Pentacles tells me that you already have an idea. You already have one that is golden. Literally, this witch right here is holding up this shiny pentacle like, oh, this is it. This is the thing. This is the thing. And I'm going to make a plan and I'm going to carry it out with the King of Wands. This is literally the King of Wands, like strategizing at a board, right? It's deciding this is the path I'm taking. This is the thing I'm doing. And even if I don't watch this become successful overnight, I love this work. So I'm going to keep showing up. That is like the biggest thing for you. Now we also have for you the cat, a two-faced friend. Ooh, that's rough, honey. Okay. Older woman, dealings or relationship with an older woman. We have rooster, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. And coins, money will be coming to you. So what this says to me right off the bat with rooster, older woman, and cat, y'all, this is either an older woman that constantly puts your ideas down, or this could very well be your mother or your grandmother. You are dealing with some ancestral trauma. And it also could be that one of your spirit guides is your grandmother. And she is here to tell you that your path isn't going to be like those that came before you. Your path is going to be different. And maybe in your family line, you were expected to do something the way that everybody else does it. You're not here to do that. You're here to go beyond and expand beyond that. And because of that, like, y'all, we are in such a blessed timeline. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things that are wrong with the world right now and wrong in the country I reside in, and we cannot deny those things. But I want you to just think about for a moment how our parents did not have the internet, most of them anyway, unless you're very young here. Our parents did not have the internet the way that we have it, and their parents didn't have it at all. And think about all the opportunities that have opened up for us. We are literally in the most blessed timeline for information to be able to share of ourselves and our uniqueness with the world. And no other generation before mine, at least, and the ones after, have been able to do that. And even if your life doesn't look like it's full of blessing and mysticism and wonder right now, because maybe you're going through a lot, we really are in one of the highest timelines to share of yourself uniquely. And you are being called forth right now to do that. And I don't say this with an ounce of like nonsense behind it. Like, I am getting such a strong message that you're here to share. And the reason that you feel so passionate on the inside about the things that matter to you is because you're supposed to share them, and you need to stop focusing on what other people will think. You need to draw the line in the sand of maybe you have this story on repeat that says, oh, but others are going to judge me, or what am, insert your name here. Maybe you have this belief that other people are going to say, what is so and so, that's your name, doing now? Maybe you've tried other things in the past that haven't worked, so you feel like you have nothing to show for your efforts. I promise you, if you dedicate yourself to something, you will see results. And that is what your spiritual team needs you desperately to hear. You will see results. You will have a financial return on this. If you're worried about money, that needs to be the least of your concerns. And don't get me wrong, I understand when you're under financial stress and burden, probably better than anyone. I've been there, I get it. And even with how things are, at least in America right now, like it's scary. But I promise if you follow your passion, money will be the least of your concerns. And there are people in your life that don't believe in you and don't think that you're going to be able to do what you want to do. And it's time to walk away from those people. They might even be people that you live with, because there's a house back here. There's somebody in your midst that you know who it is. You don't have to wonder. This is somebody that it's obvious. They are not rooting for you. And this is time to put distance between them, because you are here to do something different. Now, we also have for you Capricorn, eclipse in Capricorn, new direction. And we have for you Sun in Pisces, higher purpose. This just like aligns to me with everything we've been talking about. And we also have eclipse in Leo, compassion. So you are meant to live and lead the compassionate path. You have so much. I'm going to like cry. I'm sorry. You have so much to give to this world. With the knowledge you have, with the tools that you've accumulated, you have so much to give. Don't waste this. Don't waste this potential. It doesn't mean, again, that you're going to be an overnight success. It's going to be something that you're going to have to integrate over time. And if you're hearing this, Pile, I believe that you already have an idea of what that is. Like, that information is not being withheld from you. I just got like full body chills. And this eclipse in Capricorn, new direction, Capricorn rules our long-term goals, our long-term success. Ask yourself, if you could wake up every day with a fulfilled purpose, maybe like if you struggle with you don't know what that is, ask yourself, what would you do if your purpose, if you knew it had already been fulfilled? If you knew that you had already come here and done your purpose, like maybe your purpose was literally giving that person on the side of the road $20. That was your purpose, and you did it, and that person's life has changed now. What would you show up to do every single day, despite, like, in spite of that, or like basically not married to that? You've already, let's pretend in this scenario, you've already, like, you're very obsessed with finding what it is that you came here to do. And I'm telling you, that is what is keeping you where you are. You need to just pick something and go forward with it, not thinking about the consequences or if it's going to be successful. Because if you get up every day and you love what you do, it won't matter. And you already are connected to a higher purpose. The fact that you are here in this current timeline, in this current reality, you're already here for it. Like, it's already been prayed over. It's already been decided, is what I'm hearing from your spiritual team. It's already been decided. And you are here to lead the compassionate life. You might even be somebody that feels like you're too sensitive for this world. I promise you that you're not. We also have the hero and mind body, or body mind. The hero is here to tell you that you really do have such a beautiful gift and a beautiful purpose. I'm not going to cry again. It's okay. The hero tells me that this is like the card of like the everyday hero. It's like you can read in stories about like fables of heroes and like these great warriors, things like that. But this card to me really is about like the everyday hero. It's about the doctor. It's about the person that is just kind and generous. It's not about this like doing this grandiose thing. It's who you decide to show up as every day for your life. And having this with body and mind, this is the thing that needs to get really in sync for you to feel good again. If you haven't been feeling good, it's because you have been going through the mind so much and you need to drop into the body. And obviously, this is not going to apply to everybody. I just want to say that if you're somebody that, I feel like you could do it with your root chakra as well, which everybody has one of those. But no, actually, I do think this does apply to everybody. I would say like the root and the sacral chakra, if you get in touch with that deep belly breathing, asking the body what it needs, asking what you need to feel safe right now, and following those intuitive hits that you receive, because you will over time receive what you need. You'll receive answer. I firmly believe that our body is always communicating with us. And you're being told that right now there's a little bit of a disconnect. And when you start to bring the body online with the mind, not like online literally. I mean, maybe you're somebody that wants to teach mind body connection. Maybe you already know about this. But when you bring the body into what you're doing, that really is the way of the future right now. Right now, especially if you're somebody that has ever felt drawn to like psychology in any way, that is the future right now. Is we are seeing where the body is being more talked about. We're not just a floating head. We need the whole body invested. And this is something that is connected to your higher purpose, whether it is just bringing your mind and body together and figuring that pathway out for yourself, or teaching it at a grander level to other people. Now, we also have for you good cheer. With kind heart and humor free, may good cheer rule, so mote it be. This is about having... Aw, some of y'all have like a bestie that is just like a little shining star in your life. Like there is somebody good in your midst that like loves you, appreciates you, wants to see you succeed. Because I know you got the message that there's maybe somebody that doesn't want to see you succeed. But there is somebody in your midst that's like a little star baby that just really wants to see you succeed. And you need to start listening to that person. Like the things that they say, even if they're not trying to push anything on you, start noticing what they do, start noticing how they behave, because that person, I think, has a really good indication of the direction that you're trying to go. This is also a reminder that if you haven't felt very cheerful recently, if things have felt really dense and difficult, Spirit is telling you that things are going to be lifted. Especially after eclipse season, which is coming up next month, actually at the end of this month and into next month, if you're watching this when this video is new. After eclipse season, the load is going to feel a lot lighter. So know that like good cheer is returning. And we also have wisdom. On a Wednesday with a waxing moon, let wisdom come and be renewed. You are wise beyond your years. You have what is called like sage wisdom. And that's why you are called to a purpose. I feel like it really is in the internet realm. Like it's something online. You are called towards sharing of your wisdom because you have a lot of it. And you are such a beautiful source of wisdom that deserves to be shared. And that is what I have for you, pile number one. Thank you for holding my emotions at this moment. I didn't realize today was going to be a day that we cried, but here we are. I do want to say to those of you that enjoyed this reading, that really felt called to it, please consider just giving this video a like. It is like the most free and best way that you can support. Obviously, you already watched the video and that supports me so much, so thank you. But if you just want to give this video a little like, if it helped you, it really does boost me and it helps me. So please do that if it helped. And I also just want to say thank you for listening, really, truly from my whole heart. This community has literally changed my life, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. And the other things I want to say, of course, are, my extra things. If you love the things that I do, no pressure, of course, ever. But I do have my Patreon if you would like to join it, as low as $222 supports me, and you get extra bonus content for it. We have a book club. We have energy of the week that I put out every single week. There's extra pick a cards there. You get access to over 235 posts as soon as you join. So you get a whole library right when you join. And it's a beautiful time. We have a great community there. I love what we have over there. And we also do workshops at the new moon for manifesting and getting clear on what it is that you desire. So if you want to join, please do. It does support me. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, please check out my website, KloeTaylor.com. That's the only place you can book. I will never roll up to your DMs and try to like sway you into a reading. Those are all scammer accounts. I have nothing to do with that. I have the @KloeTaylor official handle, no underscores, no periods, no extra letters. So that's how you'll always know it's me. But I will also never DM. Like I usually do not do that unless somebody reaches out to me first. If you would like to listen to more of me, if my voice is soothing to you, do check out my podcast, Divine Authenticity. It's available everywhere you listen to podcasts, and it is truly a labor of love. So if you want more from me, that's a great place. We talk about psychology, we talk about purpose, we talk about spirituality, and everything in between. I love it over there. If you'd like to join some like-minded individuals, we do have our Discord. It's free. I always explain it. I know many of you know what Discord is, but many of you also don't. It is a free thing. I get nothing like it. I don't like, there's nothing attached to that. Like I get nothing back from it other than having an amazing community, which we already have. But it's a place where you can come and talk to like-minded individuals. There is a food chat. There's a pet pictures chat. There's an emotional venting space. There's a general chat where you can just talk. A lot of people will also like split off and like have their own conversations outside, and like people have actually made friends through this Discord. So if you're looking for that, definitely come and join the Discord. It's available to you. Link is down below. And last but certainly not least, of course, as I mentioned, I am @Kloee Taylor on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I have the official handle on every platform. So no periods, no underscores, no dots, no extra letters, spelled exactly like it is here. And oh, the other thing, I feel like I always feel not weird mentioning it, but like I never want anybody to feel pressure. But if this reading helped you and you really want to like, oh my gosh, I need to support this woman, I do have my Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal, and wish list down below for you. I do not expect those things ever, but they certainly do help. And I always do whatever y'all tell me to do with it. Like if you leave me a comment on that tip and you tell me to like go get dinner, I will take myself out to dinner. If you tell me to like, I always put it towards the channel unless you tell me to do something different with it. Or some people will be like, girl, go get that mani-pedi. Or I've had somebody tell me to like book a massage. Like I am always doing whatever you tell me to do with it. But otherwise it just gets poured directly back into the channel for tarot cards, candles, crystals, flowers, things like that to bring more readings to you. But that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same, and go forth and follow your dreams. Follow that creativity, follow that thread. I promise you it will not lead you astray. I love you, pumpkin, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. All right, pile number 2. If you chose the Keep Out gray gravestone, this is going to be your reading. So what you need to hear right now from your spiritual team is, first of all, there maybe have been some difficult conversations that have been coming up for you. I say that because we have the Knight of Swords. We also have the Ace of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Knight of Wands. We have more cards than just these as well, which I'll get into in a little bit. But the Knight of Swords tells me that maybe there have been some really deeply cutting conversations, maybe with a significant other. I'm really getting the vibe that it potentially was familial, especially because I feel like this reading, I am feeling like ancestors coming through for you. And so maybe it's like been in a familial way. Your ancestors obviously would be tied to your lineage, but there have been some conversations that have come up that have maybe inspired or sparked some new ideas within you. With the Ace of Wands, you've realized that maybe you were attaching yourself to people or even family that maybe you need a little more boundaries with. And the Ace of Wands tells me, though, that you do have a good idea of what needs to be done, but you're a little bit afraid. You're a little bit afraid to implement any kind of change. And I want to tell you that your family, especially if it's family, it may not be, but I am getting that vibe. Especially if it's family, I think you're going to be surprised to how receptive people will be. And it might not be every member of your family. There might be some people that are not about it, but there are going to be people in that line for you, or even friends that really support the person you're becoming. You might even meet new people because of these new boundaries, because energetically, what happens when you lay boundaries down with people in your life, you actually make room for the right people to drop into your life. And I say this with like all the confidence in the world because I've seen this work in my own life. It is the same way when you clean out rooms in your home that just have like a lot of clutter or stuff that you don't need. You make room for new things. Like, legitimately, sorry, my husband's in the next room talking to friends, and I was trying to make sure that the audio didn't get into my reading. I It doesn't look like it. Okay. So apologies if you hear him in the next room after you're reading. I'm probably going to go like try to shut his door. But just know, maybe that is like the resemblance of family because, he is my family. So my spouse, such a beautiful being. We love him. But he actually edits all these videos. But I totally had something that came through. Oh no. I want to keep talking about that because it was so I was talking about like when you clean your house, right? I have literally had an experience one time where there was a couch in 2020 that I had purchased that I still have today that I was waiting and waiting and waiting for this couch to come. Like I'd received half of it and the other half was on back order because 2020 was crazy for shipping. And I literally waited from like September, I think, until March. So I waited 6 months for the other half of my couch because of how shipping delays were happening and like furniture delays. But my point to this is the day that I got the call that my couch was on a truck and I was going to be receiving it that day, I had literally, like, there was crap all over my living room. And I had all of those 6 months, there had been boxes and things stacked where that couch would go. And the day prior, I had moved everything out of the way. And we'd like clean, me and my husband had cleaned the living room. And then we finally got the call that our couch was coming because we literally made the energetic space for that couch to arrive. So, Spirit is saying that that is ultimately what you're doing while you're setting these boundaries is you are making the energetic space for the right family members, the right friendships, the right people to be surrounded with. In the near future, you are actually going to be feeling so good and supported and celebrated by the people that you are around. With the You know what's funny? You also picked the keep out pile. I didn't even realize that. You're literally like removing people from your circle. And this is a good thing. Like, don't look at this like you're doing something wrong, especially if it's hard for you to do this. It's a good thing, keeping certain people at an arm's length or at a distance, because I always say that you are the 5 people that you spend the most time around. And that doesn't mean that if like one person in your circle drinks or does hardcore drugs, that you're going to do those things. It's not about that. I feel like that was like the 1950s model of this. It's not that. It's that when you spend time, and also not to say that like all drugs are terrible or all alcohol is terrible. I'm never going to demonize stuff to you like that either. Do what you want to do with your life. I am always here in support of you living your best life, whatever that looks like for you, as long as you're being safe and not harming anyone. My point is that when it comes to setting these things down, you're doing a good thing. That's what I was, sorry, I had to rethink it. I was like, I just lost my train of thought again. Maybe you feel really scatterbrained and I am pulling up on your energy because I feel like this reading, I like keep losing my train of thought and I keep having to bring it back. But you are those 5 people that you spend the most time around. It's that you'll pick up on their words, you'll pick up on their mannerisms, you'll pick up on their belief systems. And it doesn't mean that you internalize every single thing, but like, don't you notice how if like one of your friends has a saying, you'll start to say it too over time, and that's just like how it evolves? That is the same. So you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the best, most supportive people because they're going to help you to reinvent your life in a new way. Then we have for you the Page of Cups, which tells me that you're also going to be really reimagining your future. You're actually stepping into a timeline where it's almost like you're I don't want to say growing up because I think that that can be really demeaning if you already feel grown, but it's like you're learning yourself in a new way for the first time. And we go through this at multiple points in our life. It's not something that's only for children becoming adults. We go through this at multiple points in our life where we learn something about ourselves in a new way. And it's almost like because you are being fed such good energy by great people that you're surrounding yourself with, you start to believe in miracles. You start to believe in unexpected good things happening to you. And it's like this beautiful compound effect feedback loop that it because you believe it, it starts to happen. And I say that because the Page of Cups is all about believing that good things are coming because they are. And then with the Knight of Wands, oh my gosh, you're literally going from the evolution of believing like or from like saying you're going to do a lot of things to actually putting the action behind them, because the Knight of Wands is all about following your passion and letting passion lead the way and just being committed to that, no matter if you have to go and slay a dragon to get there, right? Because we have a dragon here. No matter if you have to go like slay a dragon, and not like literal, like obviously there is like dragon journeying and stuff when it comes to practicing that. That is like a practice. When I say slaying a dragon, I mean like slaying your inner demons, slaying the things that have always held you back. You are moving beyond that, and you're actually getting the strength to move in a new way. This is a really positive thing, pile number 2. I hope that you know that things are only going to get better from here. Now, we also have for you the most difficult part of the situation is over with the rainbow. So, gosh, I don't look at these cards before I lay them down. So I'm always amazed at how they come together. I was literally just saying to you that things are only going to go up from here. The most difficult thing you've already been through. Only good things are coming. So like remind yourself of that. I always tell myself you can totally take this affirmation. The better it gets, the better it gets. Because oftentimes when something good happens, we think something bad has to follow. And it's not, it doesn't work like that. It can work that way because you believe it. But when something good happens, another good thing can happen. And the worst part of the situation you've been in is over. The boundary setting that you've already started to lay down, the conversations, it's the hardest part is over and only good things are coming forward now. I love this card actually. I have a very special connection with the rainbow card in this deck because if you've never seen this deck, let me show you. Sorry, I have to grab it and I just spilled tarot cards everywhere. It's fine. But this, like, look at how thick this deck is, okay? When I tell you I have shuffled multiple times, there was a time period in my life where this card came up after I had gone through my own boundary setting and friendship breakup. I was so scared of like retaliation from this person, of something bad happening. And for many reasons, I'm not going to go into detail here. That's very personal. But this card came up multiple times when I was reading for myself. And I knew that the hardest part, which it was a very heartbreaking situation, the hardest part was already over. And from that experience, it was true. Like the hardest part of like setting the boundary down and having the hard conversation was the hardest part. And it only got easier. Then we have for you the Weeping Willow, which says family sorrow. This is why I feel like I really felt that this was about family. It wasn't just necessarily about friends. It could be friends that feel like family. It also could be like with a significant other or something, but this is definitely like, it feels scary because these are close-knit relationships. Then we have woman, dealing or relationship with a woman. So maybe for you, this is very like matriarchal in nature. This could be a mother, a grandmother, a sister, somebody that maybe identifies as a woman in your life that is family that you've had to really lay down the boundaries with because it's just not healthy for you not to do it. This is just like confirmation that this is your pile. And then we have heart, love, deep affection and caring. So I feel like what this is, because you have the rainbow and the heart in the same reading, which is really cool. But I feel like what this is ultimately saying is that your heart is in the right place. And your spiritual team wants you to know that your heart is in the right place. You're not a bad person. If somebody comes after you for laying these boundaries down and says that like you're selfish or, no, your heart is actually in a really good place. And something I want you to remind yourself, pal number two, is that when you lay down a boundary and somebody calls you selfish, number one, it's because they were benefiting from you not having a boundary. And number two, boundaries are actually one of the most loving actions you can take for someone in your life. And here's why. Because when you do this, having boundaries is actually the step that you're taking to keep this person in your life, because you could just walk away. You could just cut the tie and say, you know what, we're just not talking anymore. But because you are creating loving boundaries, it is because you are trying to actually keep this person in your life because you do love them and care about them, or it could be a few people, but know that it is actually a very loving act. You're doing something that is really loving. Now, we also have for you Eclipse in Aquarius Awakening. I'm telling you, you might even be going through a spiritual awakening with this. You also have Eclipse in Taurus Reevaluation, a change of heart. So that's interesting. Like maybe you were a different person before and you're literally having a change of heart. Like maybe in the past you were that person that was like, family is everything. I'll do anything for family, or my friendships are everything and I will bend over backwards. And you're having these deep realizations and awakenings that you can't operate that way anymore because it doesn't benefit your long-term self. And it doesn't mean that like everything and everyone has to only benefit you. Like it's not a selfish thing. It's that in order for you to be who you came here to be, this is necessary. And then we also have for you Eclipse in Libra, rebalance, reevaluate relationships, justice, and fair play. I cannot make this shit up if I tried, y'all. You literally got a relationship card in the middle of this relationship reading. And Eclipse energy, you got all Eclipse cards, which we are, if you're watching this when it's brand new, which it's coming out in October, but if you're watching this when it's brand new, in November, technically at the end of October, October 25th, I believe is the first one, we are moving into eclipse season. We're going to have an eclipse in Scorpio, and then we're going to have an eclipse in Taurus in November. So this is really interesting to me that we are coming into an eclipse season. You got all eclipse cards. So eclipses are not small potatoes. They are not small energy. They are big dick energy. And they are huge transformers and catalysts. We go through them every like 6 months or so. We have them in different signs. So for about a year and a half, they'll go through the same signs. Currently, we're dealing with Scorpio and Taurus energy. And when they move, they will go into, I believe it's Aries and Libra next time. So our relationships are going to get some serious shifts in about like a year. But right now, we're currently doing the Taurus and Scorpio cycle. And with that, though, this could be highlighting your relationships to you. It could be highlighting an awakening. It could be highlighting reevaluating. And I feel like eclipses are often about reevaluation, to be honest. They're changing a sector of our life. Now, I can't say exactly what it is for you. I did create a whole video at the top of this year that was all about this eclipse and how it affects your birth chart. It's called like Fate and Destiny Changing or something. I'll try to link it if I remember. If I don't, like, you can literally go to my channel and search like Fate and Destiny or Kloee Taylor Destiny, and it will be like one of those top videos. But yeah, I put one out earlier this year that went over that. So if you're looking for more specificity on that, definitely check that out. The other thing I want to say here is that you really are evolving into, again, your own person. You maybe have lived your life for your family or other people for your whole life. And this is big. It feels scary because it feels like something you've never done before. Maybe somebody in your whole family has never done this before. Or maybe they have, but they were always the black sheep and you're scared of being the black sheep, which don't be scared of being the black sheep. The black sheep often is the most educated, the most like sound, the most reasonable, the most compassionate. And the family will often use that person as a scapegoat. And the scapegoat, like everything gets blamed on them. It's always their fault. They're doing something terrible. And ultimately, the scapegoat is the person that often comes back like the most healed, the most sound in their own self. And sometimes they even help free other members of your family that are dealing with this. So please know that, like, you're doing a really good thing. And like that is what your spiritual team needs you to know right now is you're doing a really good thing, even if it feels awful. And it's part of your purpose for a reason. It's part of your path right now for a reason. Now, we also have heaven and earth for you. And we have the card of wisdom. I'm going to move this to over here for right now. We have the card of wisdom. And these two cards, I actually kind of want to look at this heaven and earth card in the book because it's come up for me. Like I've seen it before. It's not new, but I just want to, this is the book that comes with this deck, which I always link all the decks that I use down below if you're curious. But I want to actually just see what the key words are for this one. Because this deck, by the way, not trying to sell, like I get nothing for this. Like if you use my link, I might get like a small commission. But this deck, Dreams of Gaia, that I'll link below, is probably one of my most favorite decks. If you like don't know tarot and you love psychology and spirituality, this is the deck for you. It like is impossible to read it wrong. It's one of my most used decks when I read for myself. But this one, the key words are heaven and earth, above, below, nature, humanity, magic, mundane, material, and immaterial. Separation is an illusion, center and align, spiritual being in a physical body, spirit dwells in nature, experience life and learn from the experience, symbiotic relationships, harm the planet and you harm humanity, the ordinary is magical and the magical is ordinary. So I think this really leads me to believe that you really are going through a spiritual awakening. And you like this is going to be a transition that I don't say this lightly. I feel like we hear the term spiritual awakening a lot in the spiritual community. It's not just like some airy fairy thing that you go through. It's something that I believe everybody experiences in their lifetime. And it's actually really kind of chaotic. I also say that because you have this card of wisdom here, but I want you to notice the art that is in this card that is being displayed. So we have this figure that looks like a wise old sage, and they are going into a cave with a lantern. They're going in there and they are putting light on the things that make them scared. That is really, to me, what this card entails is like you are gaining wisdom from your path and you are doing the shadow work because you are shedding light on the deepest, darkest, most like cavernous parts of you. And the sage doesn't fear the cave, which the cave can be like the void, the time where nothing makes sense, but everything starts to make sense eventually. But you're going in there, even if you're scared and you're shaking, you're going in there and you're doing this thing because it's necessary for you. You have been shown things through either like learning, studying, your subconscious, dreams, your own soul, you or your own spiritual team even. You are being shown this new way of being because your soul came here to evolve in this way. And you're being shown the lessons for a reason. So know that this is part of your purpose. It's part of your path. And I believe that if you are listening to this reading, it is because this is really what your spiritual team came to tell you today, is that this is all part of the process. Eventually, this is going to get easier. You're not going to feel like an outsider to your family or friends that you once had forever. I actually do think there are going to be supportive people that are coming, especially with that Four of Wands being at the heart of your reading. But this really is such a deep part of your path, and you will not struggle forever. Then we also have psychic protection. Around me now, a shield of gold protecting me, strong and bold. So this is literally just like you are receiving psychic protection for this work. If you feel like something feels scary, maybe you were even once afraid of tarot cards, right? Just this like tool that we use to expand our consciousness and connect us with our spiritual team. Please know that you're protected to practice. You're protected. Your spiritual team wants you to know that you don't need to be afraid. And like, obviously, I always say that if you're somebody that is interested in like witchcraft or something like that, I myself am a practicing chaos witch, but if you're interested, I always say like start your foundation learning protection magic if you're scared. Start with the foundation of protection. That way you will always go in feeling armored up and protected before you do any kind of deep work that you feel afraid of. Then we also have for you safe home. I cast this circle roundabout safety now is beyond a doubt. And if you've been worried, because again, I do feel like this has been a very familial based reading. You're worried about causing ire and contention in the first home, which would be your family home. And you need to know that safety will return. You need to give these people time and things will iron themselves out. Right now, your focus is you, yourself, and moving forward and learning more about yourself and what you like and who you came here to be. That is the path that you're on. And I hope this reading helps you out, pile number two. I really appreciate you taking the time to tune in and listen. Truly, from my whole heart, I just want to say thank you for stopping by, for listening in, for receiving this message. Thank you to your spiritual team for showing up today. And if you like this video, literally the best and like most free thing that you can do is to hit that like button. Hit that like button. It lets me know that you want more readings like this, channeled in this way. And it also lets me know, like, it also lets like YouTube know that this is something that is worth continuing to put out there. So please hit that like button if it did something good for you. And I also want to say, if you want to support me more as a creator, I do have my Patreon available to you where you get exclusive content, a book club. We do monthly workshops. We're going to have the Eclipse workshop next, which is going to be, I assume, pretty intense because eclipses are definitely different than just like your normal new moon. Eclipses are big energy. So, especially you, pile number two, I'm not just saying that to like pander to you. Like with all these eclipse cards, that might be very beneficial to you. And if you would like to support me even further, I also have my Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal available to you. And my wish list if you'd like to send me a gift. I never expect those things from you, but I certainly appreciate them if you want to. I also have readings available on my website, KhloeTaylor.com, where you can book a personal reading, birth charts, or a tarot reading when they are available. That's the only place you can get them from. I will never solicit you on social media. Like, this is the only place I talk about it, and the only place you can buy is through my website. I will never like approach you in your DMs and be like, oh yeah, cash out me this money. No, those are always scammer accounts. Please be safe out there. And then I also have my podcast, Divine Authenticity. It goes out every single Tuesday. Sometimes we also do a Friday episode where we talk about psychology, spirituality, holistic health, hormone health. We talk about everything. I feel like the podcast is like my little online diary, and it's such a good time. It's called Divine Authenticity. It's available everywhere you listen to podcasts. I would love to have you tune in. If you would like to meet some other like-minded individuals as you're laying down these boundaries and maybe feeling a little bit lonely, we do have our Discord available. I literally get nothing out of that other than having community there. Like, I don't get paid for that. It's not something that I like, you have to pay for either. It's completely free. It's on iOS, it's on Android, it's on desktop. It's an app that you download. The link for my Discord is down below. We have, I want to say we're over 1,000 members strong now, and there's a pet pictures place, there's a emotional venting space, there's a general space. Like, you can just talk to people from the community in there via chats, and it's a really good time. I love what we have there, so definitely check that out. And last but certainly not least, if you want to follow me around the web, I am at Kloee Taylor. No periods, no underscores, no extra letters. Those are all scammer accounts. I have the official at Kloee Taylor on every platform. So TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, I am at Kloee Taylor. And I would love to have you follow me. We've been putting a lot more short form content out recently. And please do not forget, pile number two, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Good luck out there with those boundaries. Bye. All right, pile number 3. If you chose the orange pumpkin, this is going to be your reading. And I was taking some deep breaths before getting into your reading and really centering myself. And I saw an image in my mind's eye of these like white flowers just like bursting open. And I heard the phrase, "This is your time to shine." And then I laid down the first 5 cards, and at the heart of your reading, you have the star. And I'll tell you why that's important as we move through this reading. I have some other cards here too that we'll get to in a moment. But first, let me just tell you what's all here. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Star, the Hanged Man, and the Magician. And basically, I kind of look at these like a progression. We're starting on this side, we're going to this side. So with the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles, that's so funny. I love that we have the Seven of Pentacles, but then we have the Ace of Swords, which has 7 birds around it. I literally thought before reading the title down here that this was the Seven of Swords. So funny. I was like, oh, 2 sevens. Like maybe 777 is like your lucky number, or 7 is your lucky number. Maybe that's like why that's coming up. But oh, look, this Ace of Swords also has this cape of like, what is that? Like these little magic swirlies on their cape. At first I thought it was like astrology stuff, but you know what though? I always feel like in readings when something comes up or something happens, or like I misspeak a card, it's because we need to talk about that as well. So the fact that I thought that those were little like astrology swirlies, like I thought they were constellations. I feel like this is a key indicator that right now maybe you need to be studying the stars a little bit more, studying astrology more, or astronomy, or looking up at the night sky and just paying more attention, getting more in sync with the moon even. Or I really feel like this would be more of the night sky versus the day sky, because it's harder to see those constellations during the day. You might see like certain planets at certain times of the year during the day, but you're not really going to see everything the way you do at night. So I do feel like this is a call for that. Like there might be something very significant for you coming up. Like maybe you have a transit in your chart that's coming up soon. But something about the stars is really pulling you, because we also have the star. So the Ace of Swords, this is a new idea, a new possibility has entered the arena. And I'm like, do you ever get so... I feel like my excited voice sounds like an angry voice. Like when I'm like, oh, just do it. Like my excited voice sounds angry. It's not. I'm literally a Cancer Venus and a Cancer Mars. I am the most squishy bitch ever to exist. But it's that Mercury in Aries that lies, that not lies, but like gives the impression that like my excitement sounds angry. But I got this like, oh, I'm just like so excited. Like this is an exciting thing. Something exciting is coming into your mind. Something new that wants to be born from you. And I say that because I got that image of those flowers like bursting open, something new bursting forth from you. And I love it. I love it because we also have it paired with the Seven of Pentacles, which is like, you're not just getting an idea and doing nothing with it. You're not just like, this is like new inspiration, new mental clarity that you've been lacking in the past. And because this has come through, this potentially has already happened as well. But because this is coming through, the Seven of Pentacles tells me that you need to come up with a dedicated plan. You need to bring that idea that is very like up in the air for you. You need to ground it in this reality, because the Seven of Pentacles is about taking stock, coming up with a plan. And that is what needs to happen. And when you do this, pile number 3, I am like smiling because I'm so excited for you. When you do this, you will be put into the position of the star. I also want to point out to you that the rest of your reading from here on, they're all major arcana cards. Notice it's not like the 8 or the 6 or the 3. It's the Star, the Hanged Man, the Magician. These are all very major archetypes that you're going to step through. So the Star, this to me is like, number one, it can literally be star quality. It can be like leaning into fame, going viral. It can be something that boosts your like fame and getting seen by others, if that's something that you're looking for right now. If it's not that, the Star also resembles walking your authentic path, getting into alignment with yourself and deciding who you want to be, how you want to show up, how you want to basically pull ideas down from consciousness and feed them into the world. Because that's so funny that you've gotten such interesting stuff about the constellations too. But I want you to notice that one of these hands that is in this star card is feeding energy or maybe even receiving it from the astrals. And then she has her other hand downturned, like she is feeding that energy back to humanity, back to the earth. So you are literally like a conduit for energy to move through you. And I love the way that Elizabeth Gilbert, she wrote Big Magic. She also wrote Eat, Pray, Love. She talks about ideas, and ideas are really important for your reading. She talks about ideas, especially the creative ones, being their own entity. Not like an entity is a bad way to put it. She doesn't say entity, but like they are their own energetic force, and they attach to different hosts. So if you get an idea, it is because you are the person that had just the right frequency for that idea to attach itself to you, because you are the right person to bring it forth. And that is the energy I want you to carry yourself with, because I do feel like there is going to be like a snag in your plans, because we roll up on this Hanged Man card, and this to me is like a snag in the plans. This is like, oh, I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like I shouldn't do it. It is this energy of like, you feel like you can't go forward for whatever reason, even though you have this great idea, you know exactly how you're going to implement it, you know exactly what to do in your own unique way. This is what is like coming up on the horizon for you. You might even have this idea now and have the plan now. And you're getting caught up in all these limiting beliefs of like, it's already been done before. Who am I to do this? What will other people think of me? And Spirit is saying, it's okay to evaluate. It's okay to sit in this. It's okay to be afraid. I literally, this is also like from me to you, I attribute all of my success in this world, which I have hit success at multiple points in my life. Like I feel like I'm not trying to just toot my own horn. I see something in you through this reading, and I don't want you to squander it. I don't want you to, I can't control what you will do, but because I sense this so deeply in you, you have such a desire to want to create change in this world, and the world needs you to do it. But because of that, I need you to know that you have to stare fear in the face and say, get out of the way. You can be here, but you need to get out of my way. And you kind of like, I am a living, breathing example of this. Like in the beginning, it was not easy to sit here and make videos fearing what other people would think, but I did it anyway. I showed up for the work anyway. And again, I'm not saying these things to like toot my own horn. It's not about that. It's that everyday people do this too. You are that person too. You have the ability to become your own main character. You have the ability to decide that you don't want to sit in this, all the reasons why you can't. For every reason that you can't or you think that you can't, I want you to come up with 3 reasons why you think that you can. And I say that because you have the Magician as your like outcome. The Magician is somebody that has literally the power to manifest anything they want. Anything they want, they have all the right tools, all the right potential. The universe literally conspires with them because they have gotten their energetic field so clear, their frequency so clear, their idea so clear that the universe literally conspires with you to bring about whatever change that you are hoping to see. And this is not small. This is not meant to be squandered. This is not, you have this infinite potential within you to have it. And I see you going really far with this. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're listening to this. And I hope you take what I'm saying very seriously, because your spiritual team definitely takes you very seriously. And they are literally saying right now, you need to start taking yourself seriously, because they absolutely do. And we also have for you the card Hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. Oh, you're the pile that got an extra card. You have an extra one of these because Spirit flopped 2 of them out. And I was like, all right. Plenty of material things. News is on the way. Bird flying. Oh, Bull. Plenty of material things. Bird flying. News is on the way. March, like the month of March. Oh my God. Stop. Stop. Do you see this? What are those? What are those? I don't look at these cards before I lay them down. You literally got white flowers. What did I say that I saw for you? When I came to read this reading, I saw these flowers. I saw, like, they weren't drooped over, they were standing more straight up, but they were fully coming out into bloom. That's crazy. And then we have happiness. So, number 1, March is a significant month for you, pile number 3. This could be when like an anniversary or a birthday is, but also if you move forward, if you start making dedicated choices today, something that you can do today to move forward on this idea, I'm telling you, by March, if you stay consistent and you stay dedicated to yourself, to doing what it is that you're trying to bring about, you will see those results. You will see that star power blossom. You will see your manifestations come true. How many months away is that? If you're watching this, and I believe that like when you need to hear this, you will hear it at the right time. So even if you hear this in April of next year and then you have to wait until March of the following year, like that's, but like the time that you're hearing it, that is the right timeline. So for right now, if you're listening to it, it's October, November, December, January, February, March, 5 months. 5 months, 5 months of consistent effort. You will see this result. You will be surrounded by the material things that you're desiring. We also have birds. Again, more birds, flying birds, happiness, birds in this card. Birds are definitely a significant spirit animal to you. Like when you see birds, those are your spirit guides sending you a message. So whenever you see a bird or like a group of birds, I want you to pay attention to what you were just thinking about, because oftentimes that is what you're needing to pay attention to. Sometimes a bird will fly in front of something significant and it's like that, but often it's whatever you were just thinking about, you need to recall it. And birds are definitely messages from your spiritual team, and you have a lot of them. Oh my God, there's 7 birds. There's 7 birds in this card too. 7 is definitely a lucky number for you. There's 7 birds here too. And then like good news. So like birds also bring good news. Like when you see them, like to give you an example of this, it's like my lucky number is 14. So whenever I see 14s in my life, I know that I'm on the right track. I know that and when I don't see it, I know that something is getting off course. I know that I'm not in the right alignment with myself when I don't see it. So this is 7 for you. If you need like a sign to keep going, birds, the number 7, both of those are big for you. Now we also have this taking a vacation physically or mentally. So what is that about? Spirit, what is that about? What is that about? Do you feel mentally checked out? Like, I'm not saying that as like a point of shame, but I feel like maybe you feel like you have these great ideas, but like you get overwhelmed and it like makes you want to mentally check out and not choose yourself every day. And Spirit is saying, like, this is valuable, taking that vacation time to like do whatever it's valuable. But it's also valuable to set up time for yourself to get into that consistency and make it a non negotiable. Like, I am all here for being kind and gentle to yourself and compassionate to yourself and going slow when you need to go slow. But there is also a time where rapid action has to happen. And I feel like you're encroaching on a very rapid action time period. So, like, rest up because things are about to shift. Rest up now. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be hard. Like, some of you are like, no, I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I don't want to. No, this isn't that. This is not giving you this, like, this, what I'm explaining to you and what is coming through. This is not something that is going to be super difficult or hard or feel like a lot of maintenance or a lot of work. This is something that when you do it, you feel so good, so empowered, so in your energy and in your element that you're not going to feel like it's this thing that takes from you. It actually gives back to you. It makes you feel like, it makes you feel empowered. Like, something else that Spirit is asking me to share with you right now is I used to tell myself that I just wanted to like binge watch Netflix and TV. And that was like my idealized dream life. Like, if I could just work hard enough to where I could take a break and binge watch Netflix for a week out of every month, that would be my dream. And here's the thing, that is not a dream. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say that watching TV is not, like, you can definitely have time for that. And I'm not the person to tell you not to take a break. But that is not a dream. A dream is something that leaves you feeling fulfilled. When is the last time you watched Netflix and you felt fulfilled? Truly. Don't get me wrong, I think there are some wholesome shows out there. There are some things that feel like, are you kidding? Bee and Puppy Cat, an amazing show. Fulfillment out the wazoo. Again, I'm not trying to demonize this to you because I think that it speaks so much more when you give yourself the time every day to have an hour and a half of Netflix time, maybe even 2 to 3 hours if that feels right for you and it fits into what you want to do. But to feel alive and like you're a part of something, like you are driven to create, to use this energy that's being given to you. Because it is a gift. Aces always talk about a gift. To use this as a gift, you're not going to have this gift and then use it to build towards numbing yourself out, where that is just your everyday and you feel passionate. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like movie critics and stuff don't feel passionate. I'm leaving you with this example because of myself. So please know that. Like, if you really feel passionate about film, this maybe doesn't make sense to you as an example. But my point is that I used to have this dream where I was like, I just want to like veg out in front of Netflix as much as I want to without having to compensate my time. And that was my dream. And somewhere along the line, I realized that that was not a dream. I felt numb. I didn't feel attached to life. I didn't feel like I wanted to do much of anything. And I would often start binging TV shows and then I wouldn't want to get back up. I wouldn't want to get back up. I wouldn't want to move my body or talk to my friends, or like it would lead me into this series of just sitting in front of social media and then the TV, and it didn't feel good. I think it's different if you feel good, but I didn't feel good. And my point to this is like, right now, maybe you're doing things where you are giving yourself a lot of downtime and you're afraid that if you take on something new, it's going to really rob you of all of your time and your soul. And in today's world, we have a lot of that, right? This is not that. This is something that you're going to feel alive doing it. You're going to feel good doing it. It's going to bring you that sense of purpose, that sense of accomplishment. You're going to wake up at the top of your day and you're going to be like, yes, later I'm going to watch that Sandman show on Netflix for a couple of hours. And that's going to be like a thing that you get to incorporate into your day. But you're going to be feeling alive and wanting to get back to this work on I would say most of the time. Like, there are going to be times where you're going to want breaks, but This is not going to rob you of your life. I wanted to make that really clear because I definitely was hearing from spirit this like I heard the term like soft life. Like, I know soft life is like really on trend at the moment. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a soft life. I think a soft life is actually a beautiful thing. And I think a lot of us could use some of that. But I also think that oftentimes when there is, and this is like the thing that I feel like nobody ever wants to hear, but it's like when there is too much down, it's hard to get up. It's hard to feel like you're touching life and life touches you back. It can become like too much of anything can become a bad thing. And I use the topic of Netflix only for myself because that was what I always thought was my dream. And then when I finally got to a place where I felt like I could do it, I was like, this is not living. This is the idea that I feel like society gave us that living is supposed to be, that we're all supposed to work extremely hard and live for the weekend where we can binge in front of the TV all weekend. That is not, for me, that is not living. And so it's whatever living looks like to you. You should be able to, with this, incorporate relaxation time into your daily routine instead of it being the thing that you live for the weekend that doesn't actually fulfill you or make you feel good. That is my point. Then we have Moon in Taurus, self-esteem, personal growth, eclipse in Pisces, free will. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure we can see these cards. And then Moon in Cancer, belonging. Ooh, okay. This is another reason I felt like I needed to not demonize Netflix to you or things like that, because I feel like there is this sense of like you feel like you don't always belong. You feel like you don't always belong. You feel like maybe you feel like you are like this anomaly in the world. And there was another pile that I talked about this a little bit too. So they might be connected. It might have been pile number 1. Oh my gosh, look, you also got a 14. That's my lucky number. But a sensitive introspective phase, you might feel like you are too sensitive for this world. And so you will often stay inside and stay close to video games, TV, again, not that there's nothing wrong with that. There is a time and a place for it. And when it feels good, you should do those things. But when it comes to be such an abundance and you don't feel good, to me, this is more about changing what you decide to do with your free will. Serve your higher purpose, not using your free will to numb out, to I feel like I get that from Mimi Bouchard. She talks about that a lot in her podcast, Mimi, where she considers like social media, Netflix, Hulu, things like that to be numbing yourself out all day, taking in all of this stimuli from other things instead of giving back to yourself when you could be. And you also got this with a personal growth in here too. I really do feel like the reason I keep coming back to this is like you might be really sensitive about that topic in particular. And so I'm feeling like I need to over explain it to you. But I only, like I said, I only gave you that example because that's how I feel about my life. I don't feel that way about necessarily everybody. It was just like my personal story. But for you, it could be a myriad of things. It could be excess drinking. It could be anything in excess eating, excess drinking, excess partying, excess socializing, having too much on your social calendar. It could be an excess of anything where you're like, I would totally be living my dream life if I could always drink off the top shelf, if I could always be partying every day of the week, if I could just get paid to go to parties, if I could, I feel like there is something about your dream that isn't actually in alignment with you. And Spirit is saying that it's time to be more dedicated to yourself because you have fantastic ideas. It's time to put some consistency behind them. And listen, y'all, your reading is going to be long because I'm getting this like anxious feeling, and it's not mine. I'm getting this anxious feeling about this reading. Like maybe the things that I'm saying are causing you to feel like anxious or shameful about yourself. I always believe that when these things come into readings, they're here for a purpose. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Even if you're somebody that is your life, there is nothing to be ashamed of. It's that spirit, your guidance, they are pushing you to do more. And I just want to say to you, if the idea of getting more into personal growth, serving your higher purpose, and stepping away from these things that maybe relax you a little bit more sounds scary, or like you don't want it, or you're feeling judged or shamed, I would encourage you to evaluate those things. Why do you feel that way? Get out a journal and start talking about it with yourself, because there is something there to be learned. You can always do and choose whatever you want to do with your own free will. And no matter even what some tarot card reader says about it on the internet matters. Like, you get to decide what to do with this information. We can't always choose the things that come into our life, but we can always choose how we react to it. And the other thing I want to say is something, again, that I'm being called to share is, if you're worried about that, try living a little more cyclically. Try bringing in more of that divine feminine energy. It doesn't matter how you identify, everybody has masculine and feminine energy. And the feminine energy is cyclical in nature. It moves slower. There are 2 weeks out of the month where we feel like we have a lot of energy, where we can get some serious shit done. And then there's a week that's like a transition week, where we have energy in the beginning of the week, and then the back half of the week is a lot slower. And then we move into the final week before it restarts, where we need to give ourselves all the time, all the Netflix, all the journaling, all the resting, and try to get your life more in alignment with that. And I say that whether you have a menstrual cycle or you don't. Like, I think that energy is for everybody to tap into. I think anybody can use it. I do think if you align it with your menstrual cycle, it can be even more empowering for you. If that's something that sounds interesting, I would highly encourage you to listen to my podcast where I talk about hormone health sometimes. But I believe that it's for everyone. Everybody can decide to tap into that cyclical feminine nature. And that is something that maybe could teach you a new way of doing the things that you want to do, and designing with this idea how you can make that work for you. Like, the first 2 weeks for me, I'm more social. I want to work more. I want to do more things. That third week, I don't really want to have as many social engagements. It's way more low key. And that fourth week, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. I want to be in front of my Netflix. You feel me? So maybe consider that. Spirit also is giving you the 9 of fire, technically, but it's the 9 of wands. And this is also the 9 of water, or the 9 of cups. Wow. Let me actually move these. These 2 cards. So the 9 of wands, or the 9 of fire over here, this like ginger looking person on the card. This card is all about not only like getting creative and creating that consistency and like finishing something to the end point, but it's also about getting in touch with your sacral chakra. I want you to notice how the sacral chakra in this card is lit up. And there's also a flower in bloom right here in his hands, which you got that as part of this reading for you. What I want to point out to you is that your sacral chakra is really important to this work. And the sacral chakra often does, it is like your personal power, your personal creativity. It's also that space that is deeply enrooted in that divine feminine, where if like the root chakra is represented by the masculine, the sacral chakra is represented by the feminine. And the sacral chakra is where we have that seed of creation, where we can tap into that cyclical nature. I always recommend doing like deep belly breathing before you get into a creative practice. I do that before every pick a card reading. And it helps me like get in touch with that cyclical nature, that very intuitive nature as well, not just like breathing into the third eye. We can use that sacral chakra as that point that helps us to create and to generate and to take something and grow it into more. And then with the Nine of Cups, that is, or the Nine of Water, that is the card of wish fulfillment. That is the card of your wishes literally coming true. And also the light, it's literally the light shining down on you. Like the light from divine and from the heavens shining down on you to support you, to help you feel seen and understood and valued and being praised for the work that you put out. And literally your manifestation power off the charts, pile number 3, off the charts. Like you got the Magician and the Nine of Cups basically in the same reading. That's all about manifesting what it is that you want. So this is why I feel like I'm being pushed to talk to you so much about, putting in that consistency until March, no matter what that consistency looks like. If it's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, that is what your consistency should look like. It's not every single day, this equals consistency. It's, creating those 2 weeks out of the month and then taking those 2 weeks off and not judging yourself for doing it, working on this thing. Designing a life where that is normal for you. And we also have for you sensuality, your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. So you're really being asked to let divine help you. I feel like you might be someone that you feel like you have some sense of understanding of divinity. You feel like you believe in something a little more than yourself. But spirit and your spiritual team in particular, pile number 3, they want more. Like, I'm going to make a video on this, I swear. I've made videos on how to talk to your spirit guides, but I feel like I need to make an updated one or like design a course or something because I feel like I have more information on this to share, but I always recommend a candle. I always recommend burning a candle for your spiritual team when you ask for divine intervention, when you ask for help, when you ask to be shown the way forward, when you ask like for that pathway to light up for you. I always recommend, and I'm saying that because it says your freedom flowing from far away. So I don't think divine is that far away from us. I think they literally sit right here with us. We just can't see it always. Some people can, but I feel like literally it's like pulling in the energy. You are pulling in the energy of the divine into what you're doing. And that is what makes it so magical. That is what makes it so perfect for you. And so you're being asked to really increase your relationship with your own faith in any way that you see fit. Then we have true love come to me. True love shall come to me as I do, so mote it be. So, this isn't even romantic love, y'all. This is literally knowing that you are unconditionally loved by the universe. Oh, that makes me want to cry. I'm sorry. Because sometimes we don't feel it. Like when you go through really hard things, like mentally, physically, we always feel like, why me? Why did this have to happen to me? And you are so unconditionally loved by your spiritual team. And they really just wanted to like make that the final like kiss of a send off. Oh my gosh. I also just looked at my camera and the readout, because I had to start a new video because the other one like stopped. Like sometimes the camera stops and I have to hit record again. The readout said 444. It was 4 minutes and 44 seconds. I always take that as a sign too. Like if you love the number 4, but your spiritual team loves you so much. They love you so much. They want to see you succeed. And your purpose really is divine. And you are meant to pull down the messaging from the heavens. And it's not just like you're going to have a career in spirituality, which like maybe you are, but it could be like that stuff that is so divine it's not always spirituality. It can be very, very practical. It can be like helping people, helping the masses. It can be psychological work. It can be spiritual work. It can be intensive labor if that's what you're into. Like, all of it is divine. Your spiritual team also just needs you to know that they haven't left you, they haven't forsaken you. You are unconditionally loved, and the last little while has maybe been hard for you to figure things out as you're going, or maybe you feel like you're stumbling as you're moving forward. But Spirit is saying that things really are about to get so much better. Your self esteem is increasing. You're going to be starting to put your free will towards who you actually want to be. You're going to feel like you belong in this world more than you have before. And it's because you're creating this delicate balance in your life any way that you see fit. You're breaking the societal norm. You're deciding to live in the way that is pleasing to you. And I love you so much, pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. Truly, thank you from my whole heart. Because you show up here, I get to do the things that I love to do. So thank you so much. And if you want to like help this channel in a free way, please just hit that like button if this reading helped you. It really does help out the channel if you do that. And if you want to do a little bit more, of course, no pressure ever, but check out my Patreon. You can join for as low as $222 a month. We do a card of the month. We do weekly energy updates. We do extra readings. We like readings you can't get here. You get early access to my videos. We do a workshop at every new moon, and the eclipse is coming up. And so this one's going to be really interesting. This workshop that we're going to have for the eclipse at the end of the month. I would love to have you there as part of it. And is there anything else I want to... Sorry, I'm just like still kind of feeling very emotionally charged. I'm going to have to like go ground before I get into pile number 4. Oh, if you'd really like to support me again, please, no pressure at all, but I do have my Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal, and my wish list listed down below if you'd like to send me a gift. No pressure ever, but if this helped you and you want to send me something, I would certainly appreciate it. I also have my website if you'd like to book a private reading or a birth chart reading available to you. It's at KhloeTaylor.com or just KhloeTaylor.com. I will never go into your DMs on social media and solicit to you. Like, that is all scammers doing that. I don't do that. I would never. Just, you can only book through my website. I also have my podcast, Divine Authenticity, available to you everywhere you listen to podcasts. It's a good time. We talk about spirituality, psychology, hormone health, all kinds of stuff. Also, I do not get like paid for this or anything. It's literally just a free thing for you. If you want to join a community of like-minded individuals, I have my Discord. Discord is a free app. It's available on Android, Apple, desktop, anywhere you want it. The link for my personal Discord is down below for our community. You do have to agree to the rules when you join, but there's no like, it's not paid. It's nothing like that. It's all free. I literally get nothing other than having an amazing community there, where we talk about, like, we share our pet pics, our food pictures. We have a general chat, an emotional venting chat, an uplifting chat. We have stuff for everything. So definitely come and check it out. And of course, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm at Kloee Taylor everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm same spelling as here, no periods, no underscores, no extra letters. Scammer accounts like to add those though, so just know, like, no extra numbers, none of that. I am at Kloee Taylor, no spaces, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. I love you so much, and good luck out there. You really do have such a beautiful message that I hope you will share with the world, because it really is waiting for you to do that. And yeah. All right. Bye. Hello there, pile number 4, and welcome in to your reading. If you chose the Gone, or does it say Gone at Last? Gone at Last gravestone, this is going to be your reading. So what we have for you is the Fool, the 8 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, the 7 of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. And these first 2 cards, what this tells me is you really got going on something. You got going on like some kind of idea, some kind of way of living, something about your reality shifted and you decided to like throw caution to the wind and do something. But then it's like you didn't see the result immediately, or something happened. Something happened with your forward momentum that you had, and all of a sudden you're falling prey to all of these limiting beliefs, all of these things that hold you back. And I just want to tell you that they're just beliefs. The Eight of Swords is always about you holding yourself back. It's not that these things are real. It's not that you need to concern yourself with them. It's not that anything terrible is going to happen. It's that you believe that they're true, and so it's almost like you stop yourself. And I say that because even if you look at the like confinements or the blindfold that this woman in the card has over her eyes and over her wrists, you can tell that they're very loosely put there and she could easily climb out of them. That's kind of the medicine of the Eight of Swords, is being surrounded by all of these chaotic thoughts. Swords represent the mental intellect and thoughts in tarot. And it's like she could help herself, but it's almost like she doesn't see how. She can't, her eyes are bound, so she can't see in front of her that her wrists are loosely tied. She can't see the loose thread there that could be pulled. And it's like you feel like nothing, it's almost like this. The Eight of Swords to me is very like victimhood. It's like sitting in this state of victim mentality. Like, why does nothing ever work out for me? Why does nothing ever feel good? Why do I put all this conscious effort towards something and it just never pans out for me? And then the heart of your reading, we have the Five of Swords, which also tells me that I think this is really about your environment where, and don't worry, this reading does get better. There's a lot we got to talk about though. With the Five of Swords, this to me is really, it's either surrounding yourself by naysayers. It's like if this is you here on the side crying around these other two like powerful people, it's like you just don't have enough support in your life to make the effective changes that you desire to make. And you're constantly letting what other people say or think of you dictate how you're going to behave. And something I want to always remind you, and you can let this be a really empowering thing if you really take it in, is that you cannot control what other people do or what other situations. You can't control the situations that crop up in your life all the time. You can't always control the problems that are presented to you. But what you can control is your reaction to the people and to the situations. And the Five of Swords says that often you just get really in your head about what other people say and what other people think of you. And it keeps you from it keeps you from being in this fool energy. The fool energy is actually quite fun. It's very empowering. It's very expansive, playful, and open to new experiences. And when we get into this state of not believing in ourselves, of letting other people put us down, of having no boundaries, of, and then to have that followed up by the Seven of Wands, it's like we also take everything personally. Everything someone says about us, we take it personally. And you have to remember that what somebody else says of you is a direct reflection of them. It is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves, how they feel about their own life. And it actually doesn't say anything about you. Now, I'm not saying if you're getting consistent feedback from multiple sources in your life that maybe there's a behavior that needs to change, that you shouldn't analyze that and take it in and ask yourself like, oh, should this change? I think that there is a delicate balance to always be made here. But the Seven of Wands is the card of like persecution. Like it is being persecuted for just trying to be your baddest, witchiest self. And at least in these cards. And it's like everybody points the finger at you instead of taking an internal look at themselves. But the problem is you're not seeing it from that perspective. You're seeing what people are saying, what they're judging about you. And you're letting this really stop you from having inner peace, from trusting yourself, from trusting your intuition, and letting yourself change your life in the direction that you want it to go. And the first thing I'm always going to tell you, this is just like directly from me to you, just like closing the channel for a second. Um, I firmly believe that you came across this reading and me as a reader because I have so much knowledge in this topic specifically. When I saw these cards, when I laid them out, I was like, oh, I've so been there. I have not in the same way. I'm sure you have different family members, different situations, different friends, different social circles, different upbringing. I'm sure that we are not the same. And I'm not here to co-op your story. What I can say though is one of the best decisions that I ever made for my own life that I truly believe changed my life was I changed the environment that I was in. And I took every opportunity that I could get to get out of the environment that I was in. And the first time I left my home environment, it was a privilege that was given to me that not everybody else in my family had the privilege of having. Like my parents, I was very fortunate that helped me move out, helped me pay for college, and helped me like with room and board. The second time after I moved home again and realized how toxic that environment was for me and how much freer I felt out on my own prior to that, I left my house with $300 on a credit card that was brand new. And I think I had like $300 in cash, a car full of my things, which I owned a lot more than a car full of things. Because mind you, I'd lived on my own prior to that. I took whatever I could fit in my little Nissan Versa hatchback. Me and my spouse, who we are still together now, we did this together. And we literally drove back to where we were previously living, and we started our life all over again. We lived with a friend for a little over a month, and we managed to, my husband found work. I was working in gaming at the time in the gaming industry. My channel started to slowly pick back up as I had the energy and the momentum to create content while I wasn't being berated every day. And from that place, I was able to eventually like move into the tarot sphere, and like that's like a whole other story. But my point is that even if it feels scary, and even if you have to make a lot of big, terrifying decisions to have the life that you want, this is not your practice life. This is not a pretend life. You get one. I mean, not to say that we're never going to like, I believe in reincarnation, but believe whatever you want. But this is not a practice life. And don't let this environment control the person that you want to be. If you want to move to the coast, do everything in your power to get there. If you want to move to another country, start your life new, change your name, be a different person, do everything in your power to get there, even if it means leaving in the dark with $600 to your name. Your life is worth trying. And I tell you that story because I want you to feel like, yes, I was scared when I did those things, but ultimately I knew that Spirit would provide. I knew that I was miserable where I was, and I knew that if I trusted Spirit, I would be provided for, and I was. A lot of amazing things happened after that. And I feel like that is currently where you are being led. You are meant to live a life where you are trusting your intuition, you are relying on your faith, and you are really cultivating peace. And I say that because your outcome here is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is literally one of the most intuitive cards in the tarot. It is all about trusting your intuition, trusting your emotions. And maybe you're somebody that has a lot of emotions and you're around people that really, this candle just went out, and I was about to say that they snuff out your emotions. Oh my gosh, Spirit, you're so funny. Thank you. That candle is done now. Love that. These people that you surround yourself with, even if you are biologically programmed to love them or not, they could be friends as well. They're not serving your highest good. And the sooner you realize that, and the sooner you do everything in your power to push towards a new beginning, the more that Spirit is going to give it to you. the more that you are going to sink into this life where your peace is protected, where your intuition is the driving force behind you. And I promise you, it will all work out. Now let's go ahead and see what other cards we have. We have time to get out of a situation. What did I tell you? Gong, an exciting event. We have cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. Mountain road, you are on the road to success. So time to get out of a situation. I don't read these cards before I lay them down. Like, this is the first time I'm seeing these. And I can tell just from these first 5 cards that you're in a situation that you're not happy about, and you need to do everything you can to get out of it. Everything. Like, putting aside everything, moving on blind faith. I promise it will change. You will be here if you do that. And Gong, an exciting event. I actually think this could be about an actual event taking place where like an opportunity is presented to you, but it also could be that this idea of moving in a new direction with your life, getting a new job, moving away somewhere, getting out of the environment that you're in. And don't let these naysayers that are like, oh, but we're in the middle of a recession, you can't think about that right now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to belittle that or say it's not real. Even myself has been affected by this recession. I don't deny that it's real. However, I can also tell you from like previous experience that you can thrive during these points in time. You can thrive during these points in history. You don't have to be somebody that succumbs to that and lets it bring you down. And I'll let you know when I crack the code for myself on that with this recession, but I know that it's possible because I've done it before. And I feel like you need to let the excitement of your new life be the driving force behind what you're doing, because I don't sense that these are going to be easy decisions to make. But the thing is, you are dissatisfied with where your life is right now. And you are worth so much more than that. And you are, even though you may not believe it right now, you are actually on the road to success. The road to success has many, many valleys, many points of slowing down and then picking up speed again. And you, even though it might look like your road is on a downward incline right now, you are still climbing that mountain. And I just got the chills. You are still climbing the mountain. You are still on your way to success. This is not the thing that's going to end you. This is not the thing that's going to defeat you. Now we have for you, Aries, new beginnings. Oh my gosh. I love tarot, y'all. Tarot is so fun. Sun and Aries, new beginnings. So literally it says a leap of faith. You need to take the leap of faith. And we have follow your dreams, Moon and Pisces. So again, not listening to the naysayers, doing what feels correct to you, doing what feels inspired to you, letting this new beginning fully consume your life. Like, I know we talk about like, gosh, who invented that challenge? It's like 75 strong or something, like 75 days of just like going for it. I don't feel like we need to do 75 days of strength. I don't think we need to brute force it all the time. But I do think there are times for action and times for relaxation. And right now, especially as this full moon in Aries is coming up, actually the full moon in Aries might have just passed by the time you see this reading. I'm not sure of the day it's going out, but the full moon in Aries may have just happened. And this actually was a closing chapter on your lack of passion, lack of inspiration, lack of action. So this is the perfect time for you. You are literally in the perfect timeline to move forward on this. And follow your dreams, Moon and Pisces, wonder. Let yourself get swept up in it. Then we have a harmony, Sun in Libra. So this is also a reminder to you that things will be harmonious. Things will be okay. You will be able to move through this, and in a graceful way, that it might seem a little shaky baby in the beginning, as Ralph Smart would say, you're looking a little shaky baby, but you are meant to enjoy life so much more than you're currently enjoying it. And like, not to get dramatic on y'all, but at the end of your life, when you are like laying on your deathbed, you are not going to care about the people in your family that you disappointed so that you could live the life that you came here to live. You are going to be more pissed at the opportunities that you did not take. You are going to be more mad at the things you did not run after. And like, it's not worth letting these people dictate everything that you are. It's not worth listening to noise that you know isn't true about you. Then we have for you the Four of Water. This card is all about being obsessed with your flaws. And I feel like the people that you have been keeping around you, this could also be just your own thoughts, but I really get the sense that you are constantly picking yourself apart. Picking yourself apart, there is definitely tons of perfectionism when it comes to the Four of Water. It's all about just like noticing everything that is wrong with you instead of noticing everything that is right with you. And Spirit is saying it's time for you to pick up the mirror and realize everything that is right with you. You are a good person. This is coming directly from Spirit. You are a good person. You are kind. You are strong-willed. You are highly intuitive, highly creative. You are resourceful as fuck. Like, sorry, I know some of y'all don't like it when I curse, but that's just the reality. Like, sometimes Spirit really does come through like that too. Like, you think your spirit guides aren't out here cursing? They definitely are. You are... Like, if you could see yourself the way that your guides see you, oh my gosh, mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Spirit wants you to start to see yourself as that person. Who is the person that you want to be in your day-to-day life? And how can you start seeing yourself as that person today? Then we have for you the card of faith. What did I tell you? It's about moving on blind faith. Having more faith that things are going to work out. Having more faith that everything you come into contact with is a sign. Everything is a sign about where you are going. And also, this is literally like an angel guide also stepping forward. I'm seeing a spirit guide that has big wings. This one in particular, I don't actually feel like is humanoid necessarily. A lot of angel guides, if you've ever like read the Bible, y'all, like I am not necessarily a Bible worshiping person, but the way they talk about angels in the Bible, it is not the way that like TV shows us angels. They are not all like humanoid all the time. They be having like 16 eyes and like a bunch of wings. You definitely have a guide that is from the angelic realm that like is helping you with this sector of your life right now. We also have for you the card of peace. Literally, what did I tell you with that Queen of Cups? You are meant to live in a more peaceful environment. And currently, you're not letting yourself move into it. It's like you're scared. You're scared because maybe it's something you've never had or something you've never done, or you're afraid of the judgment. You're afraid of all the things that could go wrong. And I'm telling you, if you apply it, if you just do it, if you just let yourself dream it into being, it is your reality. It is for you. You are meant to live a peaceful life. And that's not to say that things will not come in ever to disrupt you. That is just a fact of life. But you will come to a place of equilibrium where you get to decide how you're going to react to the new things that come in. And then we also have knowledge. Let me connect above and below. Let the knowledge of ancestors flow. Oh my gosh, your ancestors are in this reading too. Oh, so Spirit is saying if you're confused, if you're cornfused, I love saying that, cornfused, not confused, cornfused. If you're cornfused, that's actually funny that I would say that too, because my ancestors definitely grew corn. Like my ancestors on my dad's side were farmers. So like my dad literally grew up on a farm in Iowa. That's very funny. Like my ancestral line, but corn. Cornfused. If you're cornfused about, please, if you thought that was even a little funny, can you just leave me a corn emoji down below, please? Cornfused. If you're cornfused, leave me a corn emoji. Spirit is saying you need to connect to your ancestral line. what knowledge did your ancestors have to move forward when life was difficult for them? You know, I think about in my ancestral line, I don't actually know as much about my mom's lineage, which is interesting. I feel like I could stand to probably ask her about some of that. But when I think about my dad's lineage, I always think about how my dad came from a family that, like, they didn't even have indoor plumbing. They had an outhouse growing up. And my dad was born in the 1950s. Um, and I think about how my grandmother and grandfather, like, they met at a rope factory. They were factory workers. And then eventually they ended up, I don't know how they ended up in farming, but they ended up in farming. And my dad grew up like farming and doing farm work. And, you know, their life was really hard and really labor intensive. And I think about how when, you know, they grew up very poor, and just to kind of like give this something on how you can use this, apply this to your own life. You know, I think about how they labored long days, and how hard that must have been to endure, whether they were factory working or farming, or, you know, and what kind of energy did it have to take in order to move forward and to keep getting up in the morning to do that same thing every day? How, like, because your ancestors had the ability to endure, so do you. But the thing is, you don't have to endure in the same way. You have the opportunity in your lifetime to have peace. You have the opportunity in your lifetime to sink more into a softer way of living. You have the ability in your lifetime to, like, basically give gratitude to where you have come from, but know that that strength that is behind you, it is in you too. Did you know that when you are in your mom's womb, like, or like, your grandmother basically carried you too? Because, like, your grandmother would have been carrying your mother, and the eggs that are in your mother, you would have been one of those. So, like, you literally are so directly connected. Isn't that crazy to think about? Anyways, y'all, light a candle for your ancestors, okay? I'm getting big angelic ancestral vibes. And I feel like your ancestors, like, you need to pay a little bit of homage to them. And especially in the autumn time, if it's autumn where you live, there is like no better season to connect with your ancestral line than right now. Especially as we get into like Samhain or Halloween or Dia de los Muertos, if you are of Latin descent. My husband is 100% Chicano, so we always celebrate Dia de los Muertos in this house. But it's a really powerful time to connect with ancestors, because the veil is actually thinner at this time than other times of the year. So, um, gosh, I just got the chills. Like, some of y'all really need to get into some of that ancestor work, okay? In any case, please start believing in yourself. Please. I know I can't just be like, turn that on. It takes time, but you do not have to settle for this. You do not have to settle for being stuck in like the anxious thought wheel, from surrounding yourself with people that always say the like worst, most negative shit, or say the meanest things to each other and about you. You do not have to say, okay, this is just my life now. You can decide to take the path of peace. You can decide right now to make that your priority. And Spirit is saying it is in your best interest to do so. And if you make that your priority, you will get there. So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. It's interesting. You know what? You also picked the Gone at Last. And a lot of your pile was very connected to like the dead. Like, that's so, every pile that had something significant, like the other pile that had one of these was like that too. How funny. Anyways, thank you so much. If you want to help my channel grow in a free way, if this reading did something for you, please give this video a like. It really helps me to reach more people, and it also lets me know that you want more videos like these ones. So please give this video a like. Also, if you are feeling it, I do have my Patreon available to you where we put out new content every single week. There's a weekly energy reading. You get all of my videos early access. You also get access to a book club. There's an autumn book club that we have going right now. We read a new book quarterly. We already have the book for autumn out. So if you want to read that, definitely make sure you come and join the Patreon. We also do at the 11/11 tier every month, we do a new moon manifesting workshop based on astrology, and we're about to head into eclipse season. So this one is going to be different than the others because eclipses are different. So if you want to be a part of that, definitely join in. If you would like to, never any pressure, but always appreciated. I have my Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal, and my wish list listed down below. I have my wish list listed down below for you if you would like to send me a gift or donate to me. I would certainly appreciate it. Again, no expectation there, but I would certainly appreciate it. And that money always gets poured back into the channel unless you tell me to do something different with it. Somebody recently sent me a tip and was like, take yourself on a luxurious dinner date. And I really did. It was so nice. So thank you so much to that person. I also have my website if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, birth chart or tarot card reading. They're available at KloeTaylor.com. I have my podcast, Divine Authenticity, where we talk about all things holistic health, spirituality, practicality, psychology. It's a good time. New episodes every Tuesday, and sometimes we do Tuesday and Friday. So definitely head over there if that sounds like something you want to get into. And the Discord. If you want to connect with like-minded individuals, this is a completely free thing. I don't sell you anything to it. Like, it's literally just a really cool thing and a really great place to meet other like-minded people. We have our Discord, our community Discord. It's available on iOS, on Android, on desktop, anywhere that you access the internet. You can download the app or you can join, I think, via browser, and it's completely free. I literally just have it because it is a place where our community gets to meet and talk every day. So we use a lot of different chats. There's pet pictures you can share, food photos you can share. There's a general chat. There's an emotional venting space. There's an astrology chat. So anywhere you would like to come and hang out with like-minded individuals from the community, that is a great place for it. Like I said, it's free. It's just a fun time. So come and join that. And last but certainly not least, I do have my social media accounts. I'm at Kloee Taylor, no underscores, no spaces, no periods, no extra letters. It's Kloee Taylor. There are so many scammers out that would just like to be me. Don't get scammed. If you ever get reached out to in your DMs for a private reading, please know that that's not me. I would never do that to you. You could only get readings when they're available on my website, KloeTaylor.com. And my beautiful pumpkin, please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you next time.